Hello, welcome back to Popcorn and Beers. We've got your butter on top in Gladiator 2 and your drunk classic, Devil in a Blue Dress. Let's go. Welcome back to Popcorn and Beers, where some use tomatoes and others use thumbs. We use the stuff that gets you drunk. One of those nights, huh, Josh? One of those nights.
I have a cold.
Oh. I used to know a guy that carried around Pepto-Bismol in his left pocket like it was a holster and that was his gun. Spit it out and be like, you need some of this Pepto? You need some of this?
Yeah.
Like in his other pocket, they have those liquid IVs, right? And they just Ninja Star liquid IVs at people that look like they've had a bit too much.
By the way, liquid IV. Isn't every IV liquid?
Yeah. This is like H2O, I think. I think it's a great business model. Like Liquid Death is just water.
Great business model.
Water with a cool name in a can.
But Liquid IV is just like a stupid. It's a stupid title. It doesn't make any sense.
Liquid
It's
Death
working.
It's supposed to look like a beer can. It's supposed to look like kind of like a Modelo can, so that you can pass for not drinking.
Yeah.
Is that their whole marketing scheme? Do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. So you know what Gladiator 2's whole marketing scheme was? It was, let's make this look like we're doing Gladiator the whole time, and we're gonna get a lot of people into the circus tent. And as our butter on top, and I think it's only out here in England, I think maybe some other people got screeners. Whoever legitimate critics are. Anyway, we don't get those quite yet, but if you heard me just say that making fun of you, I hope that entices you to send them to me. I hope you like it a little violence, a little rough.
I'm trying to get like Straw Hat Goofy Dog.
I'm trying to get weird and put these things in the Blu-ray or send me a digital code for some of these movies because I need to catch up on Oscars. It's hard to keep up now, to be honest, with so many streaming services, with so many arts films, and you just told me that one's a film that's heavily ready to get some Oscar nods is out on Netflix. I had no idea. It never came across my timeline. It's like my Netflix doesn't even know me. It could be because my wife watches all these Korean shows, and that's all I get on my timeline.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Gladiator 2. So if I was to just pose it to you guys and say, what do you think I thought of Gladiator 2, what would be your votes?
I think you're going to call it a popcorn and one, but you're going to be reluctant with that.
Okay.
I'm going to say it's a popcorn and two, just based on the pedigree. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So for me, Ridley is missing a lot lately. He had that show, though, on HBO that got canceled called Raised by Wolves, and I was fully invested in that show. He was crushing it with that show, and I wanted to see where he would take it. But, the one that Josh liked, where they tell it from three different stories, what was that movie called, Three Different Sides, with the two knights? Matt Damon,
Last Duel.
Driver, I did not like that so much.
You don't like women.
It's not that. It's the nonsensical dialogue. It's too heavy. Not everyone needs a monologue. Take it from Deadpool, okay? Not everyone gets a monologue. And that's Ridley's style. Every single character needs. And it's just dude, shut up. This character is so ancillary that there is no point to you filming this person for 20... Why do you not edit that out? And there's a lot of that in this movie. Paul Mescal.
Attempted Shakespeareanism? Attempted Shakespeareanism with the heavy soliloquy?
I think definitely Denzel goes for it a few times. I think the twins are just terrible. Both actors are god-awful. I think it's Fred... Hetchinger, I want to say, Fred Hetchinger, and then Joseph Quinn, and the over-the-top acting and the and oh my god, and then it's so much, and it's dude, get them off. I fell asleep twice almost. I caught myself twice falling asleep because it's just dialogue, and I didn't think that that's what I was going to see. So my expectations were too high for this film, I think. If I had gone in not expecting to get Gladiator and duels and the CGI was off right away. The monkeys, when they fight the monkeys, the CGI is immediately bad, and I'm just ugh, this is awful. Kill real monkeys. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe soon. Anyway, but the CGI was bad. The acting was so-so. Pedro's voice was just difficult. It was whatever accent they gave Pedro Pascal, it was just hard to deal with. And I know a lot of people are gonna like this film because you're supposed to. I think again, you're supposed to like this, so I think it's gonna get a lot of reviews. But I ask you to go into it not with my voice, with just like have a mind that thinks, okay, Romans, did they speak like British people? Anyway,
I was gonna ask, do you think it's having seen it? Do you think it's a crime that it's called Gladiator 2?
No, because they carry the story. Like there is connection points.
Oh.
And it's forced connection points, but it is a continuation of the story. Okay. And they find a way to make it work. It is interesting because they choose when they retake the city, right? It's almost like Spartacus-esque. The gladiators and the armies of Rome retake the city, but they don't take it from the leaders, the emperors, the twins. They take it essentially from Denzel. That might be a spoiler alert. Paul Mescal has a speech at the very beginning of the movie in which he says, "Where we are, death is not, and where death is, we are not." And I think that was supposed to be prolific, and I was like, that's stupid. Like that would not and the speech does not get you fired up at all. Like, it's not a good speech before I go to die. It was like a you have an army of writers that are supposed to, you have an opportunity to write something inspirational. Do you remember the speech from the 300? Like, whoo, you wanted to go to war. And then he ends it with Spartans, what is your profession? And they're slamming their, like,
every 20-something dude participated in that.
Yeah, well, every 20-something dude would yell it at the bar, Spartans, what is your profession? Like, for a decade after that movie came out. But this one's not going to, I don't think this one's going to do it. I think Denzel is fine. It's not his best performance. It's good. It's very reserved in this character, and he doesn't really act out, and I think he has to play it reserved because he's going up with the twins who are just so outlandish in their acting. Paul is also pretty reserved playing Lucius. Connie Nielsen is fine. She was fine. Overall, the movie, it's a popcorn in one. Like I said, I almost fell asleep twice. It's just too... back off the lessons. I don't think we're in a spot right now where we can just deal with it. You failed. Your lessons failed. We all saw it fail live. So enough.
Back off, but maybe just deliver. Like sometimes you have a good point, but nobody cares because you didn't hit it.
Yeah, you know why The Boys is successful? Because they do it well. Yeah, they do it well. Oh. They're sending a message with every single episode. It is satire, but it's satire in its finest form. This is you, Hollywood, doing what has failed you for years and years, which is trying to take the public, put it over your knee, and give it a spanking with your morals, ethics, and justice. All right? People aren't down for that, and it's this one. It's Megalopolis, and it won't stop. And I don't know if people are going to like this movie because of it. Maybe they won't get it. They didn't get The Boys was making fun of them for, 5 years.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to see this, like, Thursday night.
Oh, The Boys. I thought you said The Voice.
Why would I say The Voice?
Blake
I don't know.
Shelton
I was
and
like,
Gwen
I don't
Stefani
think
want
it's
to spank
satire.
you. I'll definitely be seeing this as soon as I possibly can. But I've said it, even before I even saw the trailer, I was like, they don't need to make a sequel to Gladiator. They could just make a gladiator movie, a Roman gladiator movie, and just have it be its own thing. And it would be fine. I think we would all see it, for the most part. You know what I mean? And I hate that they did the those who are about to die thing, and they sell you this bill of goods like it's going to be this action-packed, just Coliseum fest, and it's just a lot of talking and political sneaking around and stuff, kind of deal. But I'm still super excited. My expectations are pretty even keel for this. Looking forward to Denzel. So.
Man, do you remember Spartacus? How good that show was? Spartacus.
I've never watched that show, but I'm going to eventually.
Spartacus was all right, bud. It was pretty dang good.
First season was amazing. If the actor didn't die, that show could have gone on 5 seasons of just amazing.
For sure.
They did their best.
I saw it a little late, so Jordan, if you do see it, you can clearly tell all visual effects were directly copied from 300, but it's fine. You know, whatever.
Look, Showtime needed a win, man. Like, what do you want?
It's a good movie. Your show. Excuse me.
All right.
In what context did you mention? You said something about Emilia Perez, or you said there's a new
Yeah, so it is up for tons of Oscar buzz right now, or it's getting tons of Oscar buzz right now, as far as Gold Derby is concerned, as far as lots of people that are watching these films is concerned. So let me just take a little journey here to Gold Derby, and I'll tell you right now where we're at with this. Let's see, best probably actress, I would presume. Yeah, so Carla Sofia Gascon is up. She's currently running number 2 behind Mikey Madison from Anora, the movie I reviewed a couple weeks ago. I think there was another one too. Is it Best Supporting Actress, maybe? Yeah, Zoe Saldana is number 1 right now in Oscar odds.
Saldana.
Yeah, so she's number 1 right now, ahead of the actress from The Piano Lesson, Danielle Deadweiler. And then let's see, I think it's a director nod too. Let's take a look here. Yeah, number 3 for Best Director nod, Best Picture nod. It is number 4 for Best Picture nod. So it's getting Oscar buzz like crazy.
All right, well, let me crap on it for a second. Because I have heard a lot about this movie on social media through one way or another. Like this name, Emilia Perez. Like Netflix is pushing it, I guess. Maybe I follow the Netflix Twitter page, X page, whatever. And so I saw it on my Netflix feed, and I was like, oh, so I watched the little trailer blurb that they give you when you sit there on the menu for a while, and I did not know this was like a music. What would you call this? A rock opera? Not a rock. It's not rock, but it's it's a musical. Yeah.
I haven't seen anything about it. I just want to see it because it's getting so much buzz.
Okay, it is a musical. And in the little blurb that you see, Zoe Saldana is sitting in a car with a gang member, a very kind of MS-13 looking gang member, scary looking guy. All right, and he's giving her his monologue about what the gang's intentions are, and it's in Spanish, and there's like a beat playing, and it's like a heartbeat, like it's tense, like boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
Boom, boom. And the guy is speaking in Spanish, like, and I can do that because I'm Mexican. I can kind of make fun of, the way it sounds, really. But it feels like you are watching this, and just the combination of the heartbeat and the Spanish speaking, and it's really fast, and the pace and what he's saying, it feels like you're having an aneurysm when you're watching this. Honestly, it is. It's really uncomfortable. You're like, wait. What am I watching right now? It's odd. I'll say that.
Odd.
Wasn't there a movie with Tom Hardy called Bronson about like the prisoner that's a musical?
Bronson's great. It's not a musical, but it's really avant-garde film techniques, and there's a lot of clown makeup and stuff like that, vaudevillian shit.
Okay.
It's good though.
School. All right, what were you gonna say, Josh? Sorry.
Oh, just a little clarification for all the nerds. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, I suppose, but rock opera tends to mean there's hardly any dialogue whatsoever that's not sung. And a musical, there's music in it, but there's there's like spoken lines. Rock opera, like Jesus Christ Superstar, every line is sung.
Okay, so yeah, it's more musical because the gang member, is talking in song, while Zoe Saldana is responding to him with just regular like words, and then he's like, yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
Back to Gladiator real quick. I just want to drop my hot take on the Gladiator. Yeah. I haven't seen the second one, but the first one, I just want to say, I don't know why. I think it's a popcorn in one movie. I don't think it's as hot as everyone makes it out to be.
When was the last time you saw it?
I should watch it again, and I'll correct myself perhaps. But
okay,
I see it a lot, especially dudes. They're like, "This is my movie," and I'm like, "Okay."
I'm dudes.
I think the movie's very surface. I mean, it's good, but it's like, okay, guy revenges his wife. Cool.
I think it's top 3 movies of all time.
Yeah, I think it's some of the best acting you'll ever see from Joaquin Phoenix and Russell Crowe.
That's why I said it's a hot take.
That allow us to debate your hot take.
That is a flaming hot take.
Here's a hot take. Devil in a Blue Dress is one of Denzel Washington's best performances. I don't know if
he's working hard in this one.
If it is the best, but it's good and it's kind of okay. So he does a lot of noir is what I started to think about. Like he does a lot of police / PI work. Like that was some foreshadowing to his career when he tells the friend at the end, thinking about starting my own business, and he goes, "What are you thinking about doing?" He goes, "A little PI work," and I'm like, "Oh, so this is insight into Denzel's career as an actor." Because granted, now he's doing some Shakespearean stuff. Because he's got like Hamlet and Othello on the books, getting ready to go.
Oh, he's doing Othello? That's great.
That's what it said. It said it's one of his last films that he's going to do.
Cool.
But he's good in this, and Don Cheadle is a certified badass. The set design is great. The set design is beautiful. You are transported to a period in time. The cars are beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
like
dress
Golden
and
Age LA.
Yeah, the hair, makeup, costume design, great. It's fantastic. They did a fantastic job. I don't think they hit the underlying tones enough. I think that they wanted that to be more of the look what we discovered about these people, and I think we could have had a little bit more there. I don't like the title for this. I think it's a bad title because it leads you to believe that Jennifer Beals, who plays Daphne in this film, has more to do with what's going on than she actually really does. And I'm not talking about she is the catalyst in this. It's 1995. There's no spoilers. But she doesn't really exist within the film outside of, I probably would say she has 15 minutes of screen time in a 2-hour movie.
Yeah. That's interesting,
Outside of those things, the story's fun. The acts to combat racism and the foreshadowing to where we are politically today, even, of the "I'm a friend of the black man" talk over and over again throughout it. It was just very interesting.
Every white guy in this movie is just like a sketchy, snarling maniac.
But no, not the Iowans. The Iowans tell you exactly who they are in Iowa and how they treat people that talk to their women. All right, so for me, it is a popcorn, and I would say 2, actually. A popcorn and 2. I actually enjoyed the movie quite a bit. There was a lot of times where I had to stop what I was doing and just watch the scene that was going on because the acting was very strong within the scene. The dialogue was delivered very well. So it kind of stopped, and there was a couple scenes I even rewound so I could see the line delivered a couple times over and over. Oh, music was fantastic as well. Yeah. The music was very, very good. And why do people keep breaking into his house so easily? You'd think he'd do something about that. Sorry, Jordan, go ahead. So popcorn and 1 for me for Devil in a Blue Dress.
Yeah, it's this was a good movie. I'm not a huge fan of the noir genre. I feel like it's the same movie. There's no creativity really.
There's a formula for sure.
Yeah, but Denzel carries this movie super hard. I loved everything he did with Don Cheadle in this. I feel like he should have been there throughout the entire movie, like from the beginning. They brought him in maybe too late. Could have been a buddy comedy with Don Cheadle. They were fantastic in this movie together.
Definitely wanting more, for sure.
There's just a lot of odd things with this movie. Like what's with the guy with the tree? Leave my trees alone. Leave my tree. It's funny, but I'm just
my mom. I watched this with my mom, and she said it's a historical thing. They would chop down people's trees for firewood, and like it was tough times back then. It was kind of normal.
Oh, gotcha.
To take someone's tree. In the shanty towns and stuff.
And they just kind of bring in these characters that are like major to the plot, but they don't spend any time like developing, like get you to actually understand who this character is, and then they reference their name a lot later on. You're just wait, what guy is that? Is that guy with the little adopted boy Jesus, who's secretly his child sex slave, or is that the guy who's the brother, who's half brother, who's this guy? It's like, wait, what? Am
I racist, or do all white people look the same in this movie?
Yeah, I love the cop's line. I'll bet you 6 bits to a bottle of piss. That's the guy. Like, it's just cheesy, corny dialogue. It's fun though, and we got to leave him alive. She's got $7,000 for us. $7,000.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Well, that's like $100,000 back then. A loaf of bread was 15 cents.
And he was just all like, "All right, let's go." I love Don Cheadle in this.
Time to stop killing witnesses.
In reference to that, Jordan, I like the scene where they revisit the guy who Denzel cheated with his wife. What was her name? And that guy, she was just so religious. She only wanted me. I was the only. And Denzel just sits there. I was like, "Ooh, that's cold, Denzel. That's cold." You just sitting there talking to this guy.
But why would you? If you don't know, then.
Yeah.
And the whole like drunk gun scene. No, let him go. That was so funny.
Yeah. Like these noir movies, the formula and all that, they good. They start to build up. They start off slow. They start to build you up in the middle, and then they kind of unravel in the end into like, oh, it's the woman, but it's not, and it's this. I don't know. I give it a popcorn 1 just because I like Denzel in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she was the woman was half black, half white from New Orleans. She was Creole. They could have gotten an actress that looked a little bit more that part, I think. But I guess in 1995, that's pushing the bar a little too hard.
That's interesting. I forgot that was part of the plot in this. So when I saw her, I was confused as to why they kept calling her a white woman. Because she looked. I mean, maybe it's because I'm from Louisiana, but she looked Creole. Like I can see it like instantly. Oh, that's a Creole woman. Why are they calling her white? I don't get it. But that was like a big part of the movie. Anyway. I saw this for the first time in Iraq. It was a bootleg that the Iraqis gave us, and watched it a lot. Just a little fun fact. I loved Don Cheadle. One of his best performances. I think this is up there with in the leagues of Doc Holliday, perhaps even a Heath Joker or something like that. One of those roles where you didn't get enough. You want a lot more from this character, and he was like every time he was on the screen, like. What did he say? Like, why'd you leave him with me if you didn't want him killed or something like that?
Yeah,
like, that's,
yeah.
Man, that's good. I didn't have time to be tying him up. Like, oh, that was just so good.
How can I help you if I'm busy with this dude?
Yeah, but at the same time, I loved Denzel's character. He was, I loved the way he played his character. I guess I don't have any words for that. But another thing was the racial boiling pot the whole time. That's not the right word. There's racial tones throughout the stuff. The entire movie. But it was all
good
not
word,
subtle.
Jordan. I think that's what he wanted to say. I think he wanted to say tension. The racial tension is what Jordan said.
Racial tones of tension. But it was
and
so
touching.
much of it was just like it was just a shrug, which I thought was kind of interesting. Even like the very end of it came down to race. That's what the whole movie ended up being about. But it was also like, well, that's what's up. That's the way it is. Oh, cops.
It wasn't just race. It was classism as well.
Definitely classism. Very much classism. I'm just saying, like, so much of it was just like a shrug instead of like, we need to do something about this. It's just like this is the way things are, and this
exists.
So I thought
where
that was
we
an
are
interesting
still.
take. This is mid '90s, so right on the heels of the riots in LA and stuff, and so I think that was maybe part of it. I don't know, maybe the inspiration or the setting or whatever. I like the movie. I say popcorn in 2, barely into a 2 for me.
Exactly 30 years ago, almost. We're getting very close to this being a 30-year-old movie. All right, so on to what we were watching, and it was Penguin for all of us. We were all caught up in 8 episodes of Colin Farrell and Penguin, and I've got to say, really quick, Josh, we're going to go to you, but Kristen Milioti, this is her best role since Palm Springs. I think she crushed it. I think she yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's her best role since Palm Springs. Palm Springs was good, but her as Sophia Falcone, she was stupid good. Like, she was ridiculous. Every time she was on screen, I had to stop what I was doing and watch what she was doing because I was so invested in that character. Colin Farrell was obviously great, but her character and her portrayal of said character was so on point and so unexpected that I was drawn in. Anyway, Josh, go ahead. You've been excited about this for a while.
I was excited. I loved this. I forgot. I didn't know I had HBO for a little while, so I was like, oh, I got HBO. Oh, the Penguin's on. So I watched it. Going back to her, Christine Milioti. Milioti. She perfectly told that line of ridiculous Batman drama character with human character. Like, so did Penguin, so did Colin Farrell, but she was a brand new, to me at least, villain. Mm-hmm. And I believed every second of it, which is hard to do for almost any Batman villain, right? There's always a little bit of, okay, you know? And at the same token, just about the same thing for Penguin. Like, the way Colin Farrell portrayed Penguin, I only one time saw Colin Farrell. The rest of the time, it was Oz Cobb. That one time, it was just like a little, tick that, there he is,
I want the little boy to get an Emmy nod, man. I played him as a child.
Yeah.
I want that little boy to get an Emmy nod, man.
Really, that doesn't work. Bringing the child version of them into
Very
it.
much,
This
like
was
Daredevil.
Good.
I hated that kid.
Yeah.
I can't see. I hate that kid. Anyway, he should get the Oscar for Little Fat Boy, and the mother did good. And the accents, for me, someone who's not from New York, I thought the subtleties of some of the accents, not Penguins, but some of them, Kristen Milioti, like hers was, she just had a little bit of, Brooklyn in her? I don't know. Great story. I loved how Penguin lies to everyone's face, and then the audience wants to believe that. And then you see him get caught in a lie, and then he lies again to cover that lie, and the audience wants to believe that. You know he's lying. But he's such a good liar in the dialogue and his facial expressions. Like, nothing he said was real. Nothing he said was real. No. But I still wanted to believe every second of it. I don't know how that's true. Ask a Trump supporter. But I love the way the story went. I love how it tied in with the movie. Like, the flooding of Gotham was like, episode 4 or something? And then, of course, the ending. It's not really a big spoiler, but he says, no one can stop me now. And then you see that's all you had to see of Batman. And that's, woo, we're right in line for the next movie, baby! Or next season? I don't know. But I can't wait
it's only
for
one
that.
season.
Perfect. Thank you so much. This is perhaps the best movie tie-in show I've ever seen. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Peacemaker was good. From Suicide Squad.
Ooh, Peacemaker. Okay. Peacemaker, right in line with that.
That was pretty good, yeah.
That's a good point. Suicide Squad wasn't a great movie, is the thing, too.
Yeah,
I like part 2. I like part 2. Suicide Squad 2 was fun, man.
Part 2 was incredible.
Yeah, the dialogue between Idris Elba and Joel Edgerton and John Cena, like he has 2 scenes with each one of those, and it's just on point. And then the Peacemaker show picks up right where, like, that's what Gunn, if he has a legacy so far with DC, he's done the Peacemaker show to follow up the Suicide Squad movie very well, and he just did the Penguin show to follow up Batman very well. Sorry, Josh, go ahead.
I didn't know he was. I guess he was behind most of this, or the direction of it, or whatever. I loved this. I say popcorn in 2. It's only a popcorn in 3 because there wasn't enough Batman punching people. But the show's not about him. It's not fair. But it gets a popcorn in 2. I loved this movie. The last time I felt the way I did in the finale was when the Viper got his eyes gouged out by the mountain in Game of Thrones. The ending of this, the finale, ripped my heart out, dude.
Gutted.
For real.
Yeah, it leaves you gutted. And if you ever watched Gotham, it has a lot to... I mean, the show Gotham, I think... I didn't know why Victor Zsasz was the way Victor Zsasz was on the TV show Gotham. Mm-hmm. But I kind of get it now. And I think we're not done with Victor Zsasz. Go ahead, Jordan.
Victor Zsasz. Well, I don't know the deeper lore of it, but Victor, the kid from the show?
Yeah, that's Victor Zsasz.
Oh, cool.
And what is he supposed to be?
In Gotham, he's a hitman. And he's like the best hitman. He's like the ultimate killer.
Which kid was Zsasz in this show? In Penguin?
Yeah.
Or in Gotham?
No.
Where was Zaz?
So Victor Zsasz is his full name. Victor
Right.
Zsasz. Okay? This was, I thought, the developing of Victor Zsasz into like the ultimate killer, the ultimate hitman, the person you call when you need something handled. And I thought this was the developing, the grooming of that character because of the way Penguin developed and groomed to the point where in one of the episodes he has to kill off the big bad in his old neighborhood in Crown Point. So that's why I thought that. And if you watch Gotham, which I did, and Gotham gets out there, Gotham becomes a bit much as it progresses. But the Victor Zsasz is a prominent character in that show. Go ahead, Jordan.
But the actor killed it with playing Victor with the stutter thing. He's just so endearing with it. It's just it's really effective. And yeah, it kills you. Absolutely kills you when Penguin does the thing because they just
I can't pronounce his name. I think it's Henzi Feliz.
Okay, fantastic. Job doing that. Like they just can't let you walk away from this a fan of the Penguin is a kind of thing because he's got this. He's lying to you. He's a dirtbag, but like he's kind of got this anti-hero thing kind of going through the show, and they just have to reassure you like, no, he is the villain. He is a terrible, evil person that you are not supposed to be a fan of. Like they really got to let you know that. What they do the first point I want to make is what is the thing about Batman that makes it like this trophy bait, like that in a way that no other, like as far as Oscar, Emmys, like these characters in Batman specifically just are a magnet for, like, you know, you got Heath Ledger, Christian, like these just awesome deep performances.
If I was going to give my quick opinion, it'd be Batman has perhaps pound for pound the best villains of any superhero, my opinion. X-Men is a close tie or second, but I think Batman has the most. They're all mentally ill, and mental illness is real and it's everywhere. So like we all can tap into just about any bad guy or, you know, Bruce Wayne himself.
He's the first anti-hero, which is more closely relatable than like a Superman. Most of us are good and bad. We want to be good. We want to do good things. Kind of want to be billionaires too, but we want to do good things. But innately, like in doing those good things, unfortunately, sometimes we accidentally do some bad or we rough some people up, and I think that's who Batman is. And the villains, Joker is a take on what happens when classism or capitalism hits an extreme point where you have the have-nots, or when someone has been held down, and it's almost created a whole incel community from what I was reading. The Joker movie, the first Joker movie, sorry, not created, but emboldened.
Invoked, yeah.
So go ahead, Jordan.
For sure. There's a you know, an obvious formula at play here. What you do when you have these kind of spin-off from a show, movie kind of thing. It's always like, what do we do? How do we move this and kind of make them, you know, you give them a lackey. Yeah. You give the person a lackey, and they're kind of training him. And that's how you get the insight into the person. Like, that's the segue into driving the whole development, you know, sort of thing. And that's what they do, but they do it good, is the thing. They do it really, really good in this one. I'm going to give it a pop 3. I thought it was fantastic. Loved it. Start to finish. Yeah. Nothing negative really to say about it. Honestly.
Yeah, I would watch it again right now. That's good.
I do love that we're getting to see what are these people doing when the hero's not around. Like, what is their life like? Yeah. And we're building out these characters in a way that we never have. Even within the comic books, they were always the foe, and now they are the main. Whether they are the big bad or not, they are the main. They are what we are building a story around. What we are building characters around, and then those characters, it's the rule of 10, right? I've got 10 friends, and those 10 friends have 10 friends, and we can continue to build out this whole universe of characters that people want to get to know, and then you have unyielding material to continue to create, which is fantastic for me. There's a big Easter egg I think you both missed. I think we had the reveal of Scarecrow.
I don't think that's Scarecrow. I think that's the Freud guy, Sigmund Freud type guy.
Theo Rossi?
No, I forgot his name, but he's the one who...
Dr. Julian Rush?
I'm not sure. I forgot his name.
The one that was banging Sophia Falcone?
He's bald and he has goggles. Yeah,
So no.
he was Shades in Luke Cage. Is that you?
Yes.
I think he's not Scarecrow, but someone else. The guy with the glasses, the bald dude from the video games.
Yeah, I got you. So someone snapped a picture of his desk in the background.
Oh.
And it's got Scarecrow's mask on it. And it's got another thing on the side. And I'm like, I think we all missed this.
Scarecrow in Arkham.
He could be studying Scarecrow, and Josh could be spot on, right?
He's clearly a character, with a he's got a thing.
Yeah.
He's not just a psychiatrist.
The end is crushing in so many different ways. So many different ways. I
the
think
mother,
it's
dude. Oh,
Yeah.
A hell of her own making.
And he was willing to sacrifice her. That was crazy too. Yeah. He was willing to just let her go, without caring. He is so ruthless, and they don't understand what he was willing to do to get to the level he wanted to get to, simply to make the people around him proud. The scene with Clancy Brown, who played Salvatore in it, where he's like, "No, tell me I beat you. I want you to say you can't die here. Tell me I'm the best."
Yeah,
when he's having his heart attack. Yeah, and then the same thing with oh my gosh, the scene where he locks his brothers in the and then just doesn't flinch, doesn't care, doesn't matter, just keeps it moving. Let's just keep it moving. All right, so for me it is also a popcorn and 3 on the Penguin. There was a lot to unpack there. It's probably going to have to be watched again. We were all living in the moment, Sunday to Sunday, Sunday to Sunday, Sunday to Sunday, and now we're on to Josh's fun day. Josh, what else were you watching?
My fun day? What else did I watch? Napoleon Dynamite. That was just on, so I was like, might as well watch it. Sorry, another possible drunk classic. But I think some movies, surpass the nomination rigmarole, because I'm not gonna make you watch Empire Strikes Back. We all know that could be a classic, but and that's where I place Napoleon Dynamite. It goes Napoleon Dynamite, Empire Strikes Back, every other movie.
That was perfect. I couldn't even drink.
But yeah, I love this movie. I saw it for the first time on a trailer on MTV, back when people watched MTV. I saw it opening day. Never in my life laughed that much. I was pretty high, but my stomach hurt. And my stomach hurt again. I love this movie. It's such a comfort for me, obviously, but every scene is hilarious to me. Everyone's facial expressions. It reminds me of the style in a lot of Coen Brothers movies, where it's just every expression of the face is important to the plot.
Yeah.
It's not just the dialogue. There's so much, and no movie's stupid. The premise is stupid. Everything about it is stupid. It's a stupid movie, but I love it. Popcorn and 3.
Yeah.
You're just jealous. I've been chatting with hot babes all day.
My exposure to this movie, we were having Thanksgiving at me and Fry's grandmother's house, and they brought over the DVD and put it on, and me and my mom were just like, what are we watching?
Right.
We just didn't think it's funny at all. I don't even know if we finished the movie. I think we we're like, what? We are so lost. Yeah. What are we watching? Put on, what was Grandpa's favorite movie there? Smokey and the Bandit. Put on
Smokey and the Bandit, Drumline, Convoy.
Yeah.
What is it? Mississippi Burning. Grandpa liked a lot of movies.
We were like, what are we watching here? Put on Smokey and the Bandit. And then later on, maybe even a year later, I watched this again, and I was blown away. Just like everybody was. Just like everybody was. It's so. God, I lost my train of thought.
So did Napoleon.
It's my wife's. It's my wife's favorite movie. It's that type of movie where every time you watch it, still after the 100th time, you're picking up some little detail that's just hilarious. Again, it's great, and it saddens me that I am a teacher of middle school children, and I've asked them, "You guys have never seen Napoleon Dynamite?" And literally 2 kids out of the 150 I see a day have seen this movie, and I'm like, I can't recommend you to go watch this movie, but go watch this movie. Just lie to your parents and say your history teacher told you to watch a movie about Napoleon, and
this is what you rented.
Yeah, watch it.
This is my conversation with an employee. He bought an LG phone, but the color of the LG phone was called blue steel.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, like, do you know? And he's like, I've never seen it. And I was like, dude, you need to go watch Zoolander. Like, you need to, because this name makes me laugh every time somebody says they want the blue steel version of this phone. I just laugh to myself. And he watched it, he's like, you were right. That movie's freaking hilarious. Right. Yeah, I was like, I know. It's there's a reason why these films are cult classics. They just can appeal to a certain demographic, and it just works. There's
something about Napoleon, and to an extent Nacho, but mostly Napoleon. There's a certain authenticity that's there that it's not fake. Those egg farming old men, that's who they are. They're not playing a character.
Yeah, every character in his is just so authentic. For sure. Like the
do you think anyone thinks I'm weak? Because I go home to Sterla every night?
I quote this movie daily. And yeah, like every time my dog sits, I tell him, bow to your sensei. Like yesterday I quoted this movie. My wife was telling me, I was looking for like my sunglasses, and she's like, no, they're not in the car. I cleaned out the car. And I was like, you would even know Napoleon. Like every day I quote this movie.
You know what I say a lot is build her a cake or something.
Yeah.
I do a lot of the I could throw the ball over them, they're mountains.
Yeah.
I do that a lot. Like, that's my fallback all the time. You know, he comes out on top though. Rico comes out on top. If you watch the end, he has a beautiful young lady that he ends up moving in with him in his little van that he lives in like a meadow or something. So you know what? Uncle Rico comes out on top. There was a cartoon that followed this, by the way. Now, for me, really quickly, I watched a movie that Jordan's already reviewed called Trap. There's so many ways that this movie could have gone, and it's just... honestly, it's not good. It's not a good movie. I'll never watch it again. He's setting a trap in a grease fryer, right? And she sees that there's bottles of oil and doesn't move, stands over it for a solid 5 minutes until the glass explodes in her face. And I'm sitting here like, what? Like, scream, move, don't stand over. You know it's wrong. Like, it's not like he poured extra grease in it. He just put the whole. You know it's wrong. There's a bottle of grease in. Anyway, there's that, and then the end of this film is so insanely stupid. Like multiple endings, multiple methods utilized to create more stupid, and it's all to get back to what is ultimately the end and how they want it to end. And they take what is a firefighter and make him into what is Split, essentially. The guy with multiple personalities, which is that's too much. Now you're using a character you've had before and trying to implement him in another character, and that doesn't work. You're just copying yourself. Jordan, you're right, but her songs are kind of bangers. She has a couple bangers on there. The daughter is the most annoying character in the whole movie.
Yeah.
I will say that. She's irritating throughout. The naivete of the worker that just accepts he's a firefighter and delivers the whole FBI plan. Also, why does the concession stand guy know the entire FBI's plan? It's a popcorn. It was not a good movie. She could have escaped. The singer could have escaped the bathroom about 7,000 different ways. She never calls 911. She texts her limo driver to call 911. That was stupid. Anyway, I was like, why did you text the limo driver? You have 2 phones. You have 3 phones. Just call 911.
Lots of belief to be suspended, but it's a fun movie.
Yeah. It was just not well written, this one. It wasn't even good for M. Night. It was just bad. Like, how did he get out of the limo without the 17 cops that were around it? Just because he changed his outfit doesn't mean there wasn't just one person in the driver's seat.
He's got Michael Myers' creepy man riz. I don't know. He just knows how to do things.
There was a lot wrong with this. Okay, so the next thing I was watching was Teacup. This is a Peacock original, and it is essentially... what it is it's a mix of Invasion of the Body Snatchers and The Crazies. All in one movie. So it's an alien movie that takes place in a rural town. Families, friends, kind of swingers, I guess. They're all cheating on each other with each other. Just kidding. But it is a movie about an affair. We've got a little extra storyline going on there. The best episode, I would say, is 7 and 8. I'm going to give it a popcorn and 1 because I was intrigued. I was interested. But it really is just a take on Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and it made me angry that it said based on the best-selling novel. Because I was like, no, this is literally Invasion of the Body Snatchers, just in a different skin suit. So whoever wrote this is a thief. Yeah, the faculty. It's just, you're just a thief. You're just stealing this to write a book that became a bestseller because you used a movie that lots of people liked. So it makes sense. But yeah, this was Teacup on Peacock. The characters are fine. The acting is fine. But the storyline left a lot to be desired, but you will be interested. You will be enthralled. You will want to see what happens next, and you will want to see how it ends. However, I will say I hate the very ending of the episode, of the season, pardon me, because what do you think it does? Sets up for season 2, which we don't know if we'll ever get. So, Teacup on Peacock, a popcorn and 1. Jordan, what else were you watching?
I finished what you finished a long time ago, and that was Rings of Power.
Rings of Power.
Season 2 of Rings of Power on Amazon. And it was more of what we saw in the first season. It was underwhelming. You know, it's cool. It's Lord of the Rings. So, you know, they got that going for it.
You and I went Appo Bappo.
Appo Bappo alert!
I thought it got better in season 2. You thought it got worse. More of the same.
No, I didn't think it got worse. I think it's just more of the same. Like, it's not better, it's not worse. It's just, you know, you get a couple satisfying action scenes.
Okay.
Way too spread out, way too far apart. Sauron was cool. With the,
Sauron.
With what's his face? I love his name, Celebrimbor.
Oh, the elf, the elf master technician or builder or whatever.
Yeah, that every time they went to them, that little sub story in there going on, which is not really a sub story. That is the story, the entire really. But yeah, so maybe they could use more of that because really that is supposed to be the story going on here. Yep. But it's fine. It's fine. It's short, but it still feels like it drags a lot in some places. I give this season a popcorn and 1. It was fine.
Popcorn and 1.
Yeah.
Well, I watched a movie from 2019 called A Vigilante, starring Olivia Wilde. And essentially, all this is now it's very important subject matter, and it is a trigger warning. It's about battered or abused women, but essentially, it's Enough Part 2. Have you ever seen Enough?
Yeah.
With J-Lo, this is Enough.
Now.
Yeah, this is Enough Part 2. Essentially, this is J-Lo has now beat up her abuser, her killer, her threatener, and she is now taking cards from other people that are going through what she went through and delivering beatdowns to these people. And it's good. It's good. I give it a popcorn 1, popcorn and 1.5. Olivia Wilde does a strong job in the role. She's very good at what she is doing in this, and you can see why she got additional opportunities following this. So I've got to watch, what is it, the one that Jordan liked that everybody else hated, the Darlings movie, My Little Darling, that she directed, something like that, with Chris Pine and the guy from Harry Styles. And
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so we'll have to watch that one next. She did very good. The ending was very reminiscent of The Hunted, but they didn't do enough fighting. Like it's both sides are too quick. When he has the advantage, it happens too fast. When she has the advantage, it happens too fast. Give me a little bit of energy in these scenes. Give me a little bit of action. Give me something to grab onto, to feel something. And you don't get that when we finally have this, what is supposed to be a climactic moment. It's just all very pick back, and it's like, oh, she got him, which you know is going to happen in a movie like this. You know it's going to happen. So, a vigilante, a popcorn 1.
Does she have a cool like one-liner, like "Get out of my house" or something like that?
No, she has the, "If you ever come back, I will kill you, and I want to kill you."
Oh, nice. That's a good line.
All right. So, Jordan, what else were you watching?
So the last thing I watched was Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, starring Henry Cavill. And he was great. I love him. I need him to go back to being The Witcher and just stop doing movies like this because it was fine. But The Witcher is the franchise and role made for you of a lifetime. You know,
Warhammer.
So yeah, it's fun.
It's coming.
Ministry of Judgment and Warfare was fun. It could have been funner, for sure. They needed more dialogue. Yeah,
funner.
Could have been funner. They needed more dialogue, which is, you know, something to say for a movie that's supposed to be like this action war movie. It actually needed more dialogue, for sure.
Okay.
They needed more of the wit of Cavill and his co-stars, because it is supposed to be this cast of misfit, you know, these just ungentlemanly... There's just not that much ungentlemanly stuff going on. It's just warfare.
They need to be worse gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's no war crimes? Not enough war crimes?
It's, I mean, like a normal amount of war crimes.
Like a standard amount.
For your average action film? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it's hard to, you know, this whole British, like, oh, we have to fight as gentlemen kind of thing. But it's like you're fighting Nazis. So as an audience member, I don't want to see Nazis fought in a gentlemanly way. I want them fought extremely ungentlemanly. So, you know...
I still haven't seen this movie, but I all I could see in my head was all the main characters just doing a bunch of nut kicks.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
And then did he look at him and go, "That wasn't very gentlemanly"?
Oi!
The guy, there's one of the characters. He's the guy he's built like a brick shit house. He's the biggest guy you've ever seen.
Jack Reacher.
Yes, that guy. And he's the bow and arrow guy, though. He's also the hand-to-hand combat guy for sure, because he's just so big. But he is very much the bow and arrow guy, and like the knife. Like there's a lot of him like getting up on guys and stabbing them all over the place. You know,
that's dumb. They should have just given him a brick, just one brick.
Exactly, a sledgehammer. He needs just a sledgehammer. So yeah, they don't handle a lot of the assets that they have well.
Alan Richardson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make
I like
him a superhero, please.
He was in Titans. He plays Dove and what's his name?
Oh,
Dove.
Yeah, I never saw that, but that's great. I didn't know he was in that.
But an actual cinematic superhero. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A franchise behind him, for sure.
Green
I can see that.
Lantern, dude. He'd be a good Green Lantern.
Yeah, he's good. He's charismatic. He's a beef boy, you know.
He's a
big old beef boy.
Yeah. The attempt to add drama to this that the characters just way too quickly navigate. Like, they don't even slow down a bit. They're just like, oh no, we have this problem in front of us. Well, let's just blow it up. Yeah, exactly. That's what you do. That's how you solve the problem. Bombs. Pop one. This was cool. It was fun. It was fun. Pop one. Yeah, it was okay.
Pop one. So the last film I'll be reviewing was My Old Ass. In this film, Aubrey Plaza comes back to visit her younger self while her younger self is high on mushrooms. She passes along her phone number, and then the story begins. It turns out they can have contact with one another via cell phone connection in the future and the past. And there's a pretty awesome line in this movie about, do you ever think about the last time you rode your bikes with your friends and you were out riding only to come home and put your bike in your garage, never knowing that was the last time you were ever going to experience that? And I was like, that's crazy. And it's a lesson in goodbyes, in like the people that don't like to say goodbye. Wouldn't you love to know that was the last time you were ever going to ride the bikes with your friends and be able to say, give that moment the proper gravity that it deserves? And I was like, you know what? That's a good line. And I do wish that in a lot of circumstances. And that's what creates that nostalgia, though.
That's lifted from somewhere else. But
it's lifted from 1,000 Facebook memes. Did you all know that the last time you hung out by the fire hydrant was the last? Yeah, it's of course.
We're 90s kids. We stood out until the lights came on.
You know who else said that? 80s kids, 70s kids, 60s kids.
We're the last generation to do anything right.
I will say this. We're the last tough generation. That's for sure. We're the last Beef Boy generation. There's never going to be another Beef Boy generation, I don't think.
There are Marines training right now.
Oh, are they going to be Sylvester Stallone? Are they the next Rocky? Are they going to be Commando, Josh? Are they going to do that? Are they going to be friggin' Cobra? Huh? Marion Cobretti? I didn't think so. They're going to be the next Rock? Shut up. Anyway.
Shut up.
Anyway, this is actually a pretty good movie, and there's lots of themes of nostalgia. There's lots of themes of, if you could talk to your future self, what would you ask? What would you do? What are the rules here? And how would you handle it if you found out some bad stuff about your future or some good stuff about your future? How do you handle these messages, and how do you grow? What creates growth within us all? Overall, there's not a ton of Aubrey Plaza in this movie. In this movie, it's really centered around her younger self and how she handles her coming of age and her family selling her home. And there's a line where, well, you never really liked it here anyway, and I'm surprised that I'm getting this reaction out of you. And she says, well, I always thought it would be here. And I was like, yeah, I have felt that before, like where I take something for granted because I always think it's going to exist, and I wish that we had a way to stop that from happening. We don't, but I wish we did. So her name is Maisie Stella, and that who
Maisie
is
Stella.
largely controlling this film. Anyway, it is a popcorn and 1.5 again. Popcorn 1.5. Because there were some scenes that were like, oh, come on, enough already. There's a whole Justin Bieber scene that's just too much while she's high on mushrooms. And I was just like, okay. Okay. Anyway, pop 1.5 for my old ass, but it is a quick watch. 1 hour and 30 minutes. Not too shabby there, Amazon, with my old ass. Anyway, we've got a butter on top this week that most people, all people, a lot of people are going to go see. And that is Wicked.
Wicked.
Are we ready
Do you
for this?
remember when I was the Wicked Witch? This is my origin story.
Well, she's definitely about to defy gravity.
I can't wait to hate this movie, but I'm going to love it probably.
Jordan, it is your drunk classic, and what are we going to watch?
I'm going to make us watch a sci-fi thriller.
Make us.
Yes. Starring Justin Timberlake.
Oh,
Time.
man, come on.
In time.
It is in
Really?
time. Yeah.
That was an easy one. His filmography is not that large. Jordan, you didn't even you could. I would have led with Olivia. I would have led with Olivia Wilde, starring
Right.
Olivia Wilde, because I just did Olivia Wilde in Vigilante.
Yeah.
I did
In time.
see this a million times on YouTube Shorts, but I've never seen the movie, so I can't wait.
Okay. All right. I've seen the movie. It's not bad, Jordan. Actually, I was thinking about this movie a while back. Cillian Murphy is great in this movie also. So,
And the little piss boy you got from Mad Men, he's in it too.
Little piss boy.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Well,
I didn't watch Mad Men.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
he's one of the lead guys. Like he's like the big shot. Anyway,
Piss boy.
Not
in this
John Hamm.
movie, in this movie, in time, he's one of the big shots. In Mad Men, he was one of the little piss boys.
I still don't quite understand how the gambling works, so maybe on this go around, I'll figure out how the gambling works. 'Cause
Gambling.
they gamble in this.
It's essentially a game of chicken.
Oh.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
it's just
We'll watch it.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna watch it in time. Jordan, any reason why?
It's just short and it's just kind of punchy and just it's not a long ass because I'm gonna watch Wicked and Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
Both 2 long ass movies. I want something that's
Yeah.
just dumb and
Short
short.
and sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, that's where we're at. And as always, we thank you for joining us. We will see you at the movies. You get the popcorn. We'll get the beer.